Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sid the Baker once again. Now today we're going to make shortcrust pastry. Now shortcrust pastry is one of the simpler pastries to make because there's basically only 3 ingredients and water. You're going to want a pound of all-purpose flour, or plain flour if you like, half a pound of lard, a little pinch of salt and 4 ounces of water. And that's basically it. Let's go and do it. Not going to say I'm a genius. Right, so here we go. We're going to make shortcrust pastry. Now, as I explained in the last video, follow the link, the difference between shortcrust pastry and other pastries. Shortcrust pastry, as I mentioned before, is for pies and anything savoury. So, for this, we're going to want a pound of all-purpose or plain flour. Throw that in there. There you go, 1 pound of plain flour. Throw that in the mixing bowl. Right, you're then going to want half a pound of lard. Now, if you are vegetarian or you don't like animal fats, you can get the vegetarian version of this. It's a solid oil and it does the same job. We always use lard because it has much more flavour, and I suppose we follow tradition. We've always used lard for the past 50 years that I've been in a bakery, so I'm using lard. There you go. Chop this up into small cubes. It just makes it easier to rub it in when you come to do it. Now, if you've got a machine bowl and you want to use your machine bowl, that's fine. You just put this in the machine bowl, and then when you come to mix it, you would use the paddle just to mix it to the breadcrumb stage that I'm going to show you. Mix it by hand. I prefer doing it by hand when it's small amounts because you get a feel for the pastry. You can feel where the fat lumps are when you're mixing it, and you're not going to over mix it if you do it by hand. Now, we also want about a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put a little bit in the palm of my hand because I'm experienced. That's about a teaspoon. Just throw that in. Now, at this stage, what we're going to do now, we're going to rub it together. Now, I'm going to press it between my thumb and my fingers, just like this. So we're just pressing it together, thumb and fingers, like this, till we get it all coated in flour and all broken up. It shouldn't take long. It takes about, I don't know, 5 minutes at the most. But a lot of people say that you've got to keep everything really cold. Well, to a certain extent you do, but you don't have to go over the top. If you keep your lard in the fridge before you use it, that's fine. Your flour's usually cool enough anyway. Some people say you should use iced water when you add the liquid. Nah, there's no need. As long as your water's cold. So, if you're making this in the summer, and just try and keep things in a cool area, because you don't want this fat turning to oil. If this fat turns to oil, it won't rub in, and then it won't make nice pastry. So now, if you see this now, it's starting to come together a little bit. I'm just squeezing it with thumb and fingers, just getting the big lumps out. Once you get it down to a certain sort of consistency where there's not many big lumps in it, just get it between your fingers like that, start rubbing that way. You see, I'm just rubbing the flour together with the fat in the palm of my hands. You see, just so that we get the big lumps of fat out. You feel a big lump, then with your fingers you can just get your thumbs on it again and just squeeze it out. Pastry is so easy to make, and yet so many people say they can't make it. Of course you can. Practice, that's all it does. Practice. If you don't practice, you don't learn. If you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. Just keep practicing. Now this is coming together now. You can actually feel it starting to sort of turn into a pastry. So you don't want to mix it too much at this stage now, because if that turns into a pastry now, which it would do if I kept rubbing it, you'd have what they call a very short pastry. And it'd be as hard as nails, to be honest, when you come to eat it. And we don't want that, do we? So, there we go. Just finish it off like that. So that you got the lumps of fat out of it, and it's basically a bit sticky to the fingers. Right, all I want to do with that now is add 4 ounces of cold water. Just like that. Chuck it in the middle. Hit your fingers like that and stir. Okay, if you're using a paddle beater, just put it in. Now with a paddle beater this will take seconds, that's all. As soon as it's picked up, stop, it's ready. Don't let that paddle beater beat it to a pulp. You'll make tough pastry. See how quick that came together then? Look at that. Seconds. That took seconds once you added the liquid. Like that. There you go, get your trusty scraper and scrape your fingers off. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your pastry. Now, don't forget, if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube, and that's your pastry finished. Now what you can do with that now, you can put that in a polythene bag, put it in the fridge if you're not going to use it straight away. If you are going to use it, leave it about half an hour just to rest, because now we've worked it, that'll start getting tough. If you watch the other links now, you can see what to do with these pies. We're going to turn this pastry, we're going to turn it into pies and take it from there.